Hello and welcome to the Comicspiracy, episode number 93 for the week of January 28th, 2013. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who is with me this week?
What's up? It's the biggity-biggity-o.
I think that's Omar. And who's this? That's you.
Bryce.
Hello, Bryce. Hello, Omar. We are short a few people this week. We are short Toby. He is working hard on some... what are these things here? These comedy button videos that I know all you people have been waiting for. We are short Charlie, who has something random thing to do, and we are short founder Brock, who will be back next week, hopefully. Brock's got some family stuff to do today.
Oh, founder Brock. So this will be a pro Marvel episode, Ryan.
It could be. It could be. So we are joined by two special guests. Back again.
BFU.
You're just like our permanent replacement chair at this point, right? I think.
Yeah, I think it works for me. I can.
Like...
I'll make it on some Mondays and we'll spice this place up a little bit.
Yeah, buddy.
And joining us for the very first time, although known to most people here at the table,
Chris or Angry Chris?
Angry Chris.
Angry Chris.
Yeah.
Is that the separator? Angry Chris and regular Chris?
Yeah, the K and C.
Okay. Now you are more than just a comic fan, and as we'll learn, a HeroClix fan. You actually have you're involved with other people at this table. Not that way. I know what you're thinking, Bryce, but yeah.
BFU's brother wife.
Brother wife?
My other wife.
Other wife. Okay. Yeah. But you also are one of the co-owners of the Heroes and Dice, correct?
Yes, sir.
That is correct. So, there you go.
Awesome.
Bryce earlier was wondering, I know one Chris, but I don't know this other Chris. Who is he?
There's a lot of Chris's in the community.
Yeah, Ryan says, we'll be joined by Chris and Chris. And I was like, are you fucking kidding? That narrows it down, right?
So roping in one more here. You've listened to the podcast before, I believe.
I have.
Excellent. If you know, we'd like to do our little secret origin here of how you got into comic books and comic book related stuff. So what's your backstory?
Well, mine started, I guess, the other way around. I started playing HeroClix because me and my dad were board game guys.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So, and then all of a sudden, after a couple tournaments, I won my first tournament with Justice League, and I'm going, why is Superman wearing a black suit? Why has Aquaman got a harpoon for a hand? So I started to want to kind of figure these out. So, I started buying comics from my local comic shop, and I really got hooked. So, and I fell in love with Green Arrow.
Cool.
So.
Yes, I believe last week when we were talking about Green Arrow, a couple of people brought up that they really wished you were here because you could lend all your Green Arrow knowledge that you've amassed. You even got a Green Arrow hoodie on right now. So.
Yeah, with the quiver on the back.
Nice.
Was this the guy wanking it in his bed to Green Arrow?
I was.
Yes.
Really?
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. So
the question is, were you? Don't answer that. Sorry. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I definitely I grew to the roots. I started picking up, I think, 70 or 80 titles when I first started reading. I just cut it down a lot about a year ago. I dropped down to mostly just DC. I know Ryan's my comic guy now. I have
Yes.
at least 40 titles.
Mostly DC. Yeah, that's a hardcore start there.
I went back to Green Arrow, the Dennis O'Neil stuff. Started with when Green Arrow lost the fortune, I think is right when I started.
Yeah.
I could tell they were really kind of trying to change the character, and I loved playing him in HeroClix, and I really got hooked with this whole patriotic thing, and
yeah.
So I fell in love with him after that, and read all the way up to the all the newer stuff. Kevin Smith, I love. I read the Death stuff.
So you're pretty stoked about the fucking JLA. He's gonna be like the leader of the fucking Justice League.
I am. So he actually in the Justice League when he appeared in that final panel, I was so stoked.
Which flag are you gonna get? Which flag are you going to get?
I'm getting 3, I think. I was just talking to Ryan about it.
Yeah, all those JLA covers.
Order me the Hawaiian one, by the way.
Do you really want?
Yeah, I do. Really do.
Okay.
Really do.
You are going to be unbearable for this entire time they're letting Green Arrow lead a team.
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow's so freaking awesome. He eats chili.
I liked Green Arrow because I read some Batman, and I mean, he was really intense. There's a couple panels where it was like, I'm the Dark Knight, I will this, and then all of a sudden I turn the page and it's just a street thug. I was like, this is too intense. Superman was just he could gleek and a guy flies through 3 buildings. Green Arrow, he used to miss. He gives in to temptation. I mean, he's sleeping with the defense attorney, and then Dinah calls and he's trying to pull his pants up. I'm out on patrol.
Yeah,
I could relate to him more.
Chris,
he messes up. He's selfish. I like a hero that I can,
Green
It
Arrow's
does mess
great.
up.
Do you like Arrow? Do you like the new show?
I love it.
Nice.
Dude, is this really what's going on?
Yeah, this is what's
Am I
happening.
missing out on this title? This sounds like the most awesome title ever.
Dude, everything. I was just telling Omar when I came here that he needs to read The Poison Tomorrow. It's Dennis O'Neil, and I think it's Joseph Rubinstein, I believe.
Damn, look at you dropping names and shit.
But no,
Fucking champ.
it's really good because actually at the end of it, it's a bad panel for Arrow because they figure out they're trying to poison like the whole city's worth, like children, toddlers, and a bunch of babies are going to die. And Batman goes, "There's the truck, let's stop it." And he goes, "Sorry, I got to save Dinah." And then literally just runs away from the children. So he kind of turned his back on a bunch of little babies, which did not make him look good, but it's still a really good read.
He does have a lot of experience to turn his back on babies. They must have all been his kids.
Hey, now.
He's like the Sean Kemp of comics.
At least his sidekicks were his kids and not some random boys he picked up like
I
Batman.
hope listeners got that because I chose
Or Larry Bird. I mean, pick your
Okay, now
choice.
that's a name I know. So I know that. I know.
I wonder
know.
why.
Yeah. Celtics.
He's not
man.
a ninja?
Celtics.
To finish
Celtics.
it, I was able to relate with family and stuff. My little brother was just getting into it at the time. I mean, we read Final Crisis together, and we still joke nowadays. Whenever we have a bad day, we always go, "Well, it could be worse. Darkseid could just be chilling on your couch." I don't know if you read Final
Yeah,
Crisis.
hell yeah.
When Mary Marvel was trying to recruit her again, and she comes home from the gym, she's wearing
Yeah.
like gym clothes. All of a sudden, you got Darkseid just sitting on the couch. So,
stuff.
Joke about this?
Was he as Darkseid or was he as Bruno Mannheim?
no, he was Darkseid still then.
Nerd alert.
Well, Green Arrow.
I thought.
Green Arrow.
See, I'm not just a fucking bro, dude, you motherfucker from another country.
Green Arrow's a great comic, and that's cool. Well, we got a bunch of random questions. As you know, we like to have people write in questions. We got a bunch of random news stories. Bryce is. You just if you gotta say it, man, say it on the air. You keep trying to like mute yourself and turn it off. And,
Hey, I got nothing but X-Men love. What do you want to talk about, Ryan?
okay, we'll talk about some
That was
stuff
the first
here.
title I got rid of.
Oh, hey.
Well, nobody's perfect, Chris.
I'm sure we got some Marvel questions in here somewhere.
Here we fucking go. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, let's start with this. You're talking about Justice League. How much you like Justice League and the new book coming up? DC seems like they're just going straight up Marvel, and we're just gonna have 1,000 Justice League titles, which I'm totally fine with because there's some
Your first complaint, Ryan.
some art has come out of the new Justice League International title: Hawkman, Booster Gold, Nightwing, Shazam, Red Tornado, Black Canary, and Batgirl. Oh yeah, that's a cool ass team. I think.
I mean, you put Booster Gold and a bunch of other, sloppy seconds around them. It's going to be a
Sloppy.
fucking great book.
Yeah.
Hawkman, Nightwing, sloppy seconds.
No,
Nightwing's
you're right. He did
badass.
say sloppy seconds.
Nightwing
I'm sorry,
and
were you
Batgirl?
corroborating what Omar just said?
Nightwing and Batgirl. Come on, those are awesome.
You know I'm going to fucking...
Nightwing and
word it.
Batgirl, you're saying those are not sloppy seconds?
Is
Those
Nightwing-
are, by definition, sloppy seconds.
Is Nightwing switching back to the blue, or is he still rocking the red and black?
He's still got that red for a while.
Yeah, I don't like that colorway either.
I don't know how these are going to tie in with the Savage Hawkman. Because he's kind of like confused about his origins, everything else, and now he's on everyone's team.
Well, I was actually going to say because there's a whole bunch of cancellations and some among the new books starting up. There's a whole bunch of cancellations. Savage Hawkman officially canceled this weekend. Announced that was it the Atlanticon? I think it was. I can't remember. I got a few other things that'll make Bryce happy. Dark Avengers canceled as of May.
Awesome.
Well, this is these are all rumors for the most part,
I just bought an issue of that last week.
but
I think I know why they canceled Savage Hawkman. They brought Green Arrow in on those last two issues, and I think everyone just started to lean towards Arrow, and now no one wants to read Hawkman.
I'm pretty sure they canceled it because it was not a very good book, and then Rob Liefeld came on, and it became an even worse book. So
Can we talk about how it wasn't Savage Wolverine with Frank Cho and Sean?
Oh my god, that book is so good.
You mean the Shauna 4-issue miniseries that has Wolverine in a few panels?
Let's talk about Frank Cho drawing Shauna and not so much about Savage Hawkman, which should have just been named Hawkman. The book that will be canceled.
Frank Cho's not going to be able to do more than 4 or 5 issues of Savage Wolverine, and then it'll be done. And
I'm still licking my lips as Ryan says that.
Well, here, how about this? Were you buying Captain Marvel, Bryce? Because it's a Avengers tie-in book, and you're doing your massive Avengers bind next.
First of all, that's slightly inaccurate. Second of all, I'm embarrassed to ask which Captain Marvel because I don't even know.
Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel
with the Captain Marvel moniker with the short die.
Hate it. Oh, I didn't know if you were talking about.
Well, it's probably going away.
She drives a Suburban.
It's probably getting canceled.
I didn't know if you're talking about the girl with the.
She's got the little chop, little
No,
blonde.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. I'm trying to find a PC way of saying it. I didn't know which Captain Marvel you were saying.
It's the Captain
Korean
Marvel
one,
that
and
looks
it's
like
not
fucking Ellen DeGeneres, bro. She's doing that dance. She's doing that dance.
I didn't know which one you're talking
No,
about.
isn't Monica Rambeau? Isn't
Yeah,
she
that's it. That's
Captain
Monica
Universe
Rambeau.
now?
She's like, she's.
Is she Captain Universe now, right?
Oh, is she?
Isn't that
her?
Isn't that her
I thought she was in next
in
Wave.
Avengers?
Look, listeners, if the comic shop fucking owner doesn't know who the fuck Captain Marvel is,
I know who Captain Marvel is. There's like
you
9
just-
of them. Just
Yeah,
Captain
well,
Marvel,
way to narrow it
Shazam,
down.
and DC.
But the problem
There's
is the
Monica Rambeau, there's-
comic shop owner doesn't know who the current iteration of the character is because he's
Exactly.
worried about his gross margin as units per square foot.
to answer your question, Ryan,
of which Captain
what-
Marvel does not bring in very much of. So
Such an eloquently stated question. Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers,
Nobody cares
yes.
about Carol. Fuck.
I like Carol Danvers. I mean, I like
Nope,
Captain. I
nobody
like
likes
Miss
her
Marvel.
enough. Nobody likes her enough.
It's just the book is bad.
Yep.
You know why no one likes her is because binary can't fly as a HeroClix, and that sucks.
Dude, how bullshit is that? She has the X-Men team ability, though.
Right?
Motherfucker.
She would have been
No,
dope,
no,
right?
no.
No,
Okay,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, buddy.
We got some big HeroClix loving coming up at the end of the episode, and then let's leave it till then.
Everyone
how about
on the
this?
table is HeroClix except for
No,
Ryan.
I am not reading the Captain Marvel book.
Okay.
Nobody else is reading Captain Marvel book. I'm collecting fucking. I'm collecting fucking Captain America by Remender and that awful artist who shall not be named because I'm
JRRR?
Yeah.
Well, Winter Soldier's probably going away too. Speaking of Captain America,
Okay, well,
Word?
I'm collecting a ton of fucking Avengers and Avengers-related shit and regret every issue, even though I love Remender. Hate JRR, but the story plus is just bad, as was mentioned before by Brock, even though I hate to say Brock was right. It is Cable and Hope.
Yeah, it is.
And
Well, how about this? Here's 5 new. Rob Liefeld, speaking of who we talked about earlier, apparently likes leaking insider information because he's pretty usually on the money about this stuff. There's 5 new DC books coming up too, according to Rob Liefeld, which is Red Robin getting his own solo series, Martian Manhunter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Is
awesome.
he giving Falcon his costume back?
Probably not. Martian Manhunter.
Joker has it now.
Joke? Wait, you say someone say Joker?
No.
Joker has the costume now.
What's his name?
Martian Manhunter. DC Comics presents a new, either continuing or a relaunch. DC Comics presents. Because they had that DC Comics presents and then those National Comics, both of those are pretty much done from what I know. Brave and the Bold, which I would love a nice in-continuity team-up book from DC. And then Superman Batman, previously rumored to be written by Brad Meltzer. We were talking earlier about Identity Crisis before the podcast, writer of Identity Crisis. So,
And last podcast.
And his TV show's not bad either.
No, it's fantastic.
Decoded.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's really good.
It's not that. It's pretty good.
That's cool.
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. It's like he just goes in
Well, it's kind of weird. He doesn't go himself, so he sends out
Sure.
a team
to
of other
solve
people while he sits in the
rumors or
room
stuff,
being
right?
afraid of everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's like History Channel, right?
Yeah, it's on History Channel.
Yeah.
Or Person of Interest. What?
So there's
You know,
some,
the History Channel is like the conspiracy channel.
yeah, it is
Pretty
now.
much what it's turned into.
Everyone's an expert on that show.
Yeah.
So
I love that Persian Afghan dude with the crazy ass hair. That
Oh,
guy's fucking the best.
yeah.
Dude, that probably
I
gets so
thought he
much.
was
That,
I thought he was Greek though.
I don't know. That guy probably gets so much pussy though.
I don't
Seriously.
think so, dude.
And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
That's what really matters.
So there's some crazy new books for all you people and some great books ending that no one cares about because Captain Marvel's a bad book and there you go.
can we talk about what else is ending since you didn't really finish that
That's
thought?
what they
What's
do. on
ending?
that show.
Captain Marvel is ending. I'm excited about that. What else is ending that I'm excited about?
Dark Avengers.
Dark Avengers. Can't wait for that book to
Jeff
be canceled.
Parker's sick though. I mean, I read his stuff from afar and he's talented. That's kind of
Yeah,
disappointing because
that's totally not what we're
they had
talking
like Doppelganger, Dark Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Dark Avengers, but we're not talking about just because he's a talented dude doesn't mean that this book isn't shit.
I tell you, Jeff Parker's one of those guys where he's just on every book I could give 2 craps about. I never read a book of his that I liked because I've never read a book of his ever.
Just like Nick Spencer.
Nick Spencer I'm okay with, but Jeff Parker they always put him on you're going to be on Dark Avengers, or you're going to be on this crappy version of Thunderbolts, or you're going to be on the 4th Exiles relaunch, or they put him on what was that Agents of Atlas. I don't care about any of these titles, so I just never read any of them.
Comic book writers, they just they go up and they horizontally slide up and get like more profile until they either.
But Jeff Parker never did. He's been like, or he's been this middle of the road forever, and like
so
they're never gonna. Well, no, he's a perfectly fine writer, and people like him. But they've never given him a Spider-Man or an X-Men. He's always got these low-level titles.
Right, but there's only so many Spider-Man and X-Men unless you're an X-Men. Which in which case, he's gonna go somewhere. He's gonna go nowhere, and not to cop out of the question, but.
Well, here's one. This isn't directed to you specifically, Bryce, but this is from Mike on Twitter. He says they need to stop Extreme X-Men, which they are.
Oh my God, was that directly to me?
No, Extreme X-Men. Is that book still out?
By the way, does he know
it's almost over
that they are
ending it? Yes.
And
so
I cannot be more excited as a collector of every issue of that.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. I'm an X-Men apologist, and I have nothing good to say about the book. I still buy it though. I guess I'm buying awful X-Men is the problem, but I must collect them all. Yeah. So Bryce. Yeah. You have
I'm sorry,
Mike Campbell here on Twitter.
Are you my clone?
Mike
sir?
Campbell at Bryce Harper.
Mike Campbell must be also Bryce Larsen,
yes.
Like Ben Reilly is Peter Parker.
Tweet at
Did you send this question to yourself?
way to create a Twitter account right before you got on the way here.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's from another state. It's weird. No. Okay, look. What have we talked about? Age of Apocalypse being canceled is awful.
But you got into that, right? Like, didn't you say like it got better?
Can we answer one question at a time, Ryan? Please, I'm trying to moderate the podcast here.
Okay, well, I'm just going to sit back. And
Age of Apocalypse, Extreme X-Men, Astonishing X-Men,
all need to go.
The regular X-Men
going.
Have I covered them all? They all need to go. They are all awful. I think only three or.
Well, X-Men's getting replaced with X-Men by the same team. It's just all female book. So.
How do you feel about Uncanny X-Force?
Can we?
The new Uncanny X-Force was actually really good.
Was it really?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. No, for the only reason I'm reading that book is I have a fantasy about Bishop fucking the shit out of Spiral with all their 6 hands.
The Phantom X little duo thing was awesome in that.
Can't we just go back to 13 Mutants?
Did you catch Phantom X and Phantom X making little Phantom X babies?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, it was actually a really good issue.
I'm sorry, what was that? Which issue was really good, Ryan?
Uncanny X-Force #1.
Oh, was that a Marvel book,
It
Ryan?
was. Marvel releases some very good titles. Oh. And I was really looking forward to this book, and I'm happy that it's as good as I was hoping.
Just so you all...
and Puck is hilarious in it, too.
Just so you all know...
Puck was hilarious.
One of the biggest Marvel fanboys in the world is Ryan. He's wearing a Dracula t-shirt that's like a straight Marvel shirt. Bela Lugosi, that's like one of the biggest Marvel characters out there.
Yeah, and he's wearing an outer shirt that it says, I heart Marvel, which is weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. All right, what other questions we got here? Here's one from Serial Kills, who's blown up the forums. This guy's all over the place.
What's up, Walzo?
He's got a ton of questions. So one of his questions here is, what other movies? So they officially announced Doctor Strange, and now Ant-Man is being like the Phase 3 of Marvel.
Wong and Night Nurse. That's what I'm talking about in 2016.
Nope.
Jackie Chan's going to play Wong.
Nope, not going to happen also.
What other movies do you guys want to see for Phase 3? So you know Iron Man 9 and Thor 17 and Avengers 3 will all be part of this. But let's each pick one new movie. Let's start with Omar. I'll go around. Omar, one new movie for Phase 3. Where do they go?
Damn, that's difficult. Shit. What do we do?
No, where do you go? Well, I mean,
Marvel. Okay, so this is after Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, this is part of that. It'd be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because the last one, I think Ant-Man was like.
Is Guardians of the Galaxy Phase 2?
Yeah, so Phase 2 is the Avengers sequel. It'll end with the Avengers sequel. The Avengers sequel will be the end of Phase 2.
Because Guardians is before that. That's right.
The end of Phase 2 will be the Avengers sequel, and then Phase 3 should begin after that.
We'll start right after that.
Yeah, because everything in production right now is Phase 2 or pre-production.
Right.
Okay.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pass for now.
I got an answer.
Yeah, jump in.
Would that Days of Future Past, even though I'm not a Marvel fan at all, total DC, but I was reading that they're bringing the cast from both the First Class and the old X-Men together for this.
Well, those are
Fox owns X-Men.
Those are their own things.
Gotcha,
it's just the Marvel movies. So it's basically everything but Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men. I think they got Daredevil back. I think they got Ghost Rider back.
Can we pause, Ryan? Can we say you start the conversation again and say everything that is on the table, because you just said everything but and then named 90% of the Marvel Universe.
Well,
so,
no, it is
everything in-house, everything done by Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't know. Some people think a Marvel film is a Marvel
exactly.
film.
So-
Some people think First Class is a part of the Marvel
So
family, and that's not the case.
So Sony owns
Spider-Man, X-Men,
all Spider-Man shit.
Spider-Man, X-Men, and Fantastic Four.
and Fox
Sony?
owns
No, Sony owns Spider-Man.
Right.
Fox
Fox
owns
owns
Fantastic Four,
Silver
and
Surfer,
and X-Men.
and then
And X-Men, and that's it right now. Daredevil went back.
Daredevil,
Every-
I don't know.
everything-
Ghost
Daredevil
Rider
went back?
Yeah, everything
Daredevil
else went
my
back.
God.
Silver Surfer
really?
go back
Yeah,
too?
they let it
Or
expire.
No.
Dude,
I
that
don't
could
think
be
so.
awesome.
Shoot.
Anyway,
Pretty sure Daredevil
thank
went
you
back.
for extrapolating, Ryan.
Yes.
Look, can we go again?
You can? Yes.
Can we go back in time to last week with the Green Arrow question?
We'll get back to that one.
Okay,
We'll get back to that
someone-
one.
So
Look at the wall.
I'll do
quick,
one.
quick.
What do you got?
I'd like to see a relaunch,
Yeah.
like a shout out to the movie that franchise that started the whole thing. I'd like to see them redo Blade.
Very cool. Like actually
Marvel,
put it
That's
in.
a great
legit-
idea.
Great answer.
like legit Marvel horror style Blade.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That
And
would
you know
be,
what?
That
They-
would be sick. Just because it's the franchise that kind of
Yeah.
got it all started, like way back in the day, when everyone was like, "Oh wow, comics can be a great movie." Who's this Blade guy? You know, the 25 issues that
Yeah.
were read.
Sometimes I don't know. I just got a feeling, and one of these things is Bendis. Bendis loves himself some Heroes for Hire. I think we're going to see a Luke Cage,
Terry Crews.
Iron Fist kind of Heroes for Hire, little buddy team up.
That would be awesome.
I guarantee you we'll see one sooner rather than later. Doctor Strange was a surprise. I didn't think they'd go for it.
I thought they would,
But-
I wasn't surprised with Doctor Strange. It just
Yeah.
kind of sucks because Robert Downey Jr. looks like Doctor Strange and he's like Iron Man. Not that they won't double cast, but who was I going to say? Not Guy Pearce. There's another guy that looks just like Doctor Strange too that's floating around.
They're going to pull some fucking English dude that's super big in England, and all the fucking ladies love the Englishman.
Probably. I mean, Doctor Strange is a great premise for a movie.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
I mean, we had that magic run with the Prestige and the Illusionist like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where they did that little run with magic movies were hot for like 10 seconds.
For
10
sure.
years ago.
Was it 10 years ago?
It was a fucking long time ago.
Yeah.
More than you and I would like to admit.
Yeah, it was just like me listening to the Wailing, bringing up how I liked to listen to Wailing Jennings. He said, "Yeah, welcome to 2004 or
All
something."
right, well, magic can come
Because
back.
I'm an asshole.
So then Strange is
Good
100%
answer,
then?
though.
Yeah,
It's happening.
Strange
It's
and
happening.
You know what'd
Strange
be
and
cool? It'd be
Ant-Man.
like a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie to kind of explain the Avengers a little more, like a Hawkeye S.H.I.E.L.D. with Mockingbird.
So
like,
it's funny you
that'd
say
be a
that.
really cool
That's the-
movie.
that's
S.H.I.E.L.D.
the
TV
TV
show's
show.
coming out.
The TV show's
Yeah,
coming out?
That's the
Oh,
TV
okay.
show
With
yeah.
starring Agent Coulson somehow.
Yes.
Do we know that yet?
Yep.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
okay.
confirmed. I mean, that guy's big. That guy's so huge. I mean, he became a
that's what she
fucking
said.
internet
there's-
fucking superstar.
And I don't know her from anything else, but your How I Met Your Mother lady or whatever show
yeah,
she's
Colby.
from.
Colby
Colby's
did.
Mulder.
She's
Robin.
she's supposed to be actually. Originally, she was not going to be in the show. Last few weeks, there have been a lot of talk that she's actually going to be in the show.
So she's not Wonder Woman. Thank
You
God.
know that means How I Met Your Mother is coming to an end.
Yeah, that's what I was
She
wondering.
She got the notice. She was like, "So, you still got that shield part for me? Because I'm about to be unemployed."
Yeah.
Well, I fucking love that show, by the way.
That show's a great show. I just started watching
It's
it.
okay for it to be over after 7 or 8 or 9 or.
Well, yeah, now they're just like 38, and it's kind of sad.
I'm gonna bitch out on the movie question.
That's fine.
because I like the idea of like Midnight Suns connection with like Heroes for Hire, having Luke Cage and
Ghost
Doctor
Rider.
Strange.
I wonder, did they get Ghost Rider back?
I thought
don't
they
know.
just had a
no,
good movie.
I don't
Didn't
think
Didn't
they
they
so.
get Punisher back? I could have sworn
They got Punisher back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a cool movie to
Dude,
see
really?
redone.
Is this all happening? This is awesome.
Yeah, Punishers. That was a
I
couple
thought
years
these
ago. They
movies
got
just
it back.
can't-
would be
Well,
like,
so years
why would
ago-
we give these up?
Years ago, they weren't as tight on getting their stuff back, like because they didn't have their own studio. So they would their stuff would expire, but they wouldn't fight you for it.
Yeah.
Now they're like the minute it expires, they're like, you better have something in pre-production.
Yeah.
You don't got something in pre-production, we want our shit back.
Yeah, well,
give us our shit
because-
back right now.
Well, Marvel at the time, I mean, they were just publicly owned, so they weren't owned by a company
Right.
like Disney. So they licensed their shit to anyone. I mean, Fox has had Spider-Man since like the days of Terminator 2, because James Cameron was tapped
Yep.
to do Spider-Man for years, and so they just never they've had it for like 20, 30 years
Stan
now.
Lee was hoarding them.
shit.
Stan Lee was hoard. I love Stan Lee. But he hoarded their properties
Wow.
out like $25 and a beer.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, at that point, he didn't have anything to do with it,
And
but
pussy.
yeah. Bryce, you got one?
Oh, sorry.
What? I know. Talking to the microphone.
While Bryce is thinking,
No,
man,
I actually
these,
had one.
These 4505 chicharrones are fucking incredible.
No,
They're not a sponsor though.
I swear to God, I had one, and
you
I was
just
looking
forgot
up
about
at the wall, and then you guys went on a sidetrack. And
The microphone's down about 3 or 4 inches
you
forward
go.
a little
So
bit.
I have
I'm
to
just
go
gonna
down
keep
a
making
little
fun of you,
Just-
Bryce.
just put it in
till
your mouth.
till you're talking to the microphone. So So the listeners at home want to hear. Okay, well, I'm going to move on while Bryce thinks. I got one here.
He's having a Javier moment.
I got one here that I'm sure will stir a lot of conversation up. This is from CrossX Hunter via Kenzo, longtime
What up, Kenzo?
This is for Toby and Omar, and I'll be surprised if actually I'm the one.
I have my answer.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. Fucking Hawkeye movie, and I know this is kind of a cop out to the answer. Solo Hawkeye movie, which they said would never be done. Reading the Matt Fraction, which Ryan hates. So I finally caught up on all of it. I actually really like it.
I knew you would.
It's not for everybody. That's fair, but I think that they could do a fucking great James Bond-esque Hawkeye.
Oh, it's a pitch for a movie. The comic is a pitch for a movie.
Sure, whatever the fuck. Yeah. I don't give a It's great in terms of just showing off what he can do without the Avengers. It's not over the top. It's very, I think, subtle. It involves him shooting arrows some of the times, but it's also kind of a lot of spy shit to a certain degree.
This sounds like something that you would totally dig, bro.
They would have to put in Falcon because we've figured out that Diggle and arrows go together. The black man and the arrows just really work together. The synergy.
Diggle would have to play Falcon.
I can see that.
You watch Arrow?
What are you talking about?
You don't watch Arrow?
So, all right, can I just say that I have Arrow DVR'd from episode 3 and beyond because I got on the bus too late, and so
Did
I'm
you
waiting
watch
for them
episode
to
1 or
repeat.
2?
No, where is it? I don't have access to it. So I'm waiting for them to re-show that so that I can have that on my DVR so that I can start it. I'm a big continuity guy. I can't watch it without episodes 1 and 2.
I'll get them for you.
So let me get this straight. With the rarity that we get comic book TV shows, you had a newborn. You know what? You had a newborn. I'm going to forgive you.
Yeah, that's what you should do. You should be a gentleman.
Even though that wasn't your excuse, but I'm going to forgive you.
I have copies of 1 and 2 if you want. I've watched them 20 times a piece.
All right, I would fucking love them. I would love to watch them. Not joking.
So
that I can watch the rest. My wife is like, why do we have this all on our DVR? It's
in the show he picks
3
up
through 8 or 10 or whatever.
In the show, he picks up a sidekick that's just made up by the TV people, and when you see it, you'll be like, "Oh my god, that's the Falcon."
Okay.
Does he talk to a bird?
Now I get you.
That's so fucking racist.
It's like my
Racist.
BFU is like my Diggle.
No, he looks like
BFU is my
when you
Diggle.
see the Falcon, you were like, "Oh, that's Diggle."
My BFU.
Okay. All right.
So this question from Kenzo here. He wants to know if Toby, who is not here, although I do have his answer, or Omar has read a very long-running, very fabulous anime or a manga as well, because it's a very long-running manga, and then they've had a few animes based on it, called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, Toby,
that's my shit.
He replied, he says he knows of it from way back when. He never cared to check it out. It looked a little too weird for him.
It's very fucking weird. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was one of the fucking sickest, the illest game changers that was put out by Capcom, back in the mid 2000s. I was in the video game industry.
No, I was going to say, Omar, you don't know the comic, but you know the game.
Yeah, I know the game.
And you told me you had friends that worked on it.
Yes.
Okay.
I
so
do.
what's the story here?
So it's just like a 2D scroller. It's just like you fucking see. It's like a guy saving his girlfriend. It's like, oh, Joe, and this dude looks like a fucking one of those Mexican wrestlers mask, but with some cool ass, a luchador mask, but it's like cool ass shades. Everything's crazy zany colors, but it's a 2D scroller. It was a game changer. That was an incredible game that was put out by Capcom. I guess they have a manga and an anime now. That's cool. Well, I think there was a cartoon that was out for a little while.
It's the other way around. So the manga's been running since the mid 70s.
Oh, really?
Or something. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this has been running.
Wow, coming from the fucking white guy, otaku.
Oh, I'm a total otaku. So the reason this show, I've never had a chance to see the show. I've never read the manga. The manga can never be licensed here. The show, I don't know that there's an official American version. I could be wrong. It may just be fan subs. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, from what I know of it, it's a very bizarre show involving random people with the name Joe, J-O, in some fashion in their name, like Joestar, or there's a couple others here. Wait, I'm on the totally wrong list. Joseph Joestar, Jotar, Jotaro. So they all have these weird names. It just kind of follows the history of these characters. The reason this show will never be made in America or brought over here, and I'm sure the game took all these names out of them, because the names of all the villains and the sidekicks and all the different characters are such names like Robert E.O. Speedwagon, Will A. Zeppeli, which, if you pronounce that in Japanese, sounds a little bit like Led Zeppelin, Ton Petty, Dyer, and Straitzo, a couple other names, awesome. Wang Chan, the Doobie brothers, Paige, Jones, and Plant, A couple others here. Let's see. Lisa, Loggins and Messina, Susie Q, Donovan. Let's see. Iggy. Maybe you're starting to sense, Captain Tennille, Devo.
Just keep dropping
Jay
all
Giles,
all those bands that you love. That you're trying
Nina Hagen.
See, I don't even. I think that I call it bullshit.
Dan. No, I'm telling you. I'm looking at a list right here. Oingo and Boingo.
Okay.
So there's a reason there's a reason this show can never be licensed here, and that's because it's all named after 70s and 80s music bands and musicians and stuff. So it's a very bizarre show. I've never had a chance to see it. Everything I've heard about it is incredible, and I totally want to watch. I know there's a new season that's been on, but I have not seen it. So I'm your most likely candidate to watch that here, Kenzo. So
you might have a good idea there. I guarantee you, dollars to donuts. 95% of those bands are broke.
Oh man, 80s revival is in session these days. These guys are playing stadiums. These guys are playing Coachella. No, they're rolling in dough these days. Oh yeah, these guys all sell out stadiums still because everyone that grew up on them is now an adult that has money. So they're playing $150 ticket stadiums all over the country.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking winery place.
Yeah.
That place
Dude,
always
I
sells
that
out.
winery
Dude,
place.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean that we're going to go to the Blackstreet Revival tour when we get older?
Dude, I want a season pass to that place because I want to see apparently every band that plays
Mountain
them out.
Winery.
Yeah.
Mountain Winery, yes.
Yeah.
I apparently want to.
Love that place.
Yeah.
All right,
God, is that what's going to become?
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I'm signing up for Belle Biv DeVoe in 2020.
Well,
Dude, they're
Bryce,
still good.
Bryce, once Lady Gaga's playing Mountain Winery, then I know you're going to be happy to get tickets. So,
Dude, I already fucking love Mountain Winery. You know, I went on a date with my wife. I'm not going to talk about this. It's not worth it. It's not entertaining.
No, it's good. Your wife is hot.
Well, that makes two of us that think that. We went to a concert there recently, and that's a fucking great spot. Drink some wine, get with your wife or girlfriend or significant other. It's all good.
well, we got two other things I want to talk about here, and then maybe I'll read a few more questions. Or do whatever. There's a movie coming out this year called Superman, called Man of Steel. Maybe you've heard of it.
Flop.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Exactly, dude.
Wait, are we laying bets right now?
Let's put Scott Snyder on a comic book too, and Jim Lee, and then let's see how good that does. Flop.
Wait, okay, so Omar's going with flop.
I'm going with $95 million opening weekend, $450 U.S. domestic.
Wow.
Close to $1 billion national.
You're going with a cool B?
Wait, can you,
Worldwide.
Can
Worldwide.
you fucking write that down?
Yep. Calling
What
it
was
right
Zack Snyder's last film? Wait, what's that one with those little bitches? Those little girls?
now. $90 million opening weekend. Calling it.
Bryce, what are you going?
Those girls were kind of hot in the trailer, only the trailer.
Yes, the trailer.
Dude, I'm saying I'm not going to pretend to know the numbers. I'm just going to say it's a flop, though.
So we got two flops.
They're trying to be too much like the Marvel, and you can't deny that they're trying to be too much like Marvel with this whole like dark DC thing.
I'm with-
and we're copying Batman, and it's just not going to work out.
That's what Arrow did. I'm with Ryan because you know what? Superman, most iconic name in the world.
What did the last Superman movie
History
make?
Channel found that.
Last Superman, it did
Was it
okay.
400 million?
It did like four, worldwide.
Did so Superman's so good that a terrible movie about him being a toucher / watcher of people
Yeah.
did
Creeper?
$400
You wanna
million.
say- you wanna say Creeper?
So Deadbeat Dad Superman goes $400 million. I think as long as they stay away from that, I think Ryan's right. It's probably close. to
When the
$1 billion.
action-
Dude, you're fucking
Deadbeat
not
Dad
considering
grows
the fact that it was
$400 million.
$300 million to make. That in this industry is a fucking flop.
Hey, we're talking
That is
about
not-
gross. If they stay, Deadbeat Dad Superman did
No,
over
that was-
$400 million.
Leave the deadbeat dads alone.
That was the gross.
Oh, sorry, Green Arrow fan. My bad. My bad.
That was
Too close
gross.
to
That
home.
was not the net.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only numbers
So
people are
in
looking
this
at.
industry, you spend $300 million on a movie and you net $100 million. That's a flop in any book.
I think it's going to do $1 billion, so they won't be a flop.
I
Dude,
think this is
okay.
going to be. I think
Maybe $800 million.
right in that number.
Well, Avengers was surprisingly cheap to make. They only did cost them like $220.
And that was
I
like
know
the,
because
and
they
that
were
was like,
fucking smart about how they spent their money.
and that was like the shittiest movie out of all of them.
have
I
a
mean, the
s-
best one. I mean, nothing topped Iron Man. Let's be honest. Nothing cheap.
Hold on.
Iron Man 4,
Whoa,
Iron Man 2?
time out.
I don't mean to get off topic. I have a stupid question. But can Superman shave ever? Because I'm looking at all the preview photos.
No,
and whenever he's not in the suit, he's got a huge beard, Jesus beard, and then all of a sudden, boom, shaved, gone.
If he gets herpes, he's stuck with them, bro. He's stuck with them. You can't shave him off. You can't freeze off those little fucking things.
So how Superman shaves? Done it in the comic number of times. Heat vision to the mirror, bounces back, shaves.
Really? That's incredible.
That's how he shaves.
Is that a joke?
Can we go back to Omar?
That's how he shaves.
That must be pre heat vision in the movie when he's got the beard.
Because you just want to be provocative. Was that what your goal
They're
was?
trying to make it Chris Nolan.
Really?
Superman.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Avengers was the worst movie of the bunch.
I mean, let's not.
Dark Knight was better.
I mean, okay. In my order, I would have to say, Iron Man.
Yes.
There would not be an Avengers movie if it wasn't for Iron Man. Iron Man was it. Iron Man was the
Thor,
shit,
bro. Even Thor.
No, Thor goes second after Iron Man.
Totally
then
totally agree.
I'm
For the
with
record,
you.
Cap was last.
I'm with you. They're all fine, but
absolutely.
Avengers took the Marvel movies to the next level. Avengers is the best
Absolutely.
just because all of them are on the same fucking film, and it
Yeah.
was a fucking mediocre film that took
It wasn't.
why?
A
Who
mediocre
wants to
film.
see fucking? Who wants to see Captain America and Iron Man fixing a fucking truck in the air? Who wants to see that? I don't want to see a mechanic.
Apparently, $1 billion worth of people, or $1.5 billion worth of people.
No.
Apparently, a bunch of people multiple times. That's the only way a movie gets that high.
I saw
I
three
hate
times.
to fucking break it to you, but I actually went to see it 1 billion times.
Yeah.
Which is,
I watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently you want to see them fix a truck in the air 3 times.
So
I'll just support the cause.
Avengers aside.
Killing me, Smalls.
Avengers
Killing
aside.
me.
Hold
Iron
on.
Man, amazing. Thor, amazing. Hulk, very good. Cap, but
You put Hulk above.
Yeah,
Dude,
I agree. I agree.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see Hulk?
Hulk was fucking good.
Wait,
It
first
was
of
way
all,
better than
anytime
Cap.
Chris
I know you fucking
co-signs,
have a hard on for Cap, and I also like Cap, but bro,
anytime Chris co-signs, it's just to piss me off. So just so everyone knows why he's co-signing the Cap. Cap was a good movie,
Cap was good.
I'm not saying I said it was
and it was
good.
better than the Hulk.
That's incorrect.
The only person that made that movie good was Bucky.
Hulk,
The only movie with CG mountains was Cap.
Hulk was the worst, but Hulk was the worst by a pretty large margin. But I still liked it.
No,
but
are you talking about the first Hulk
the
or the
second one?
Hulk?
I actually liked the first one too, but the second one, no, the Marvel
You think
movie
Hulk
one.
with Edward Norton was worse than Cap?
Yeah, Cap was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude,
Yeah, Cap was pretty amazing.
I liked Cap.
Cap Thor.
No hate on Cap at all. but you were fucking wrong.
Hold on.
No,
Avengers is 1, Iron Man is 2, Cap, Thor, Iron Man 2 or 3, Hulk is 4. That's the order.
Oh man,
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Totally disagree.
So anyway, Marvel aside, there's a Superman movie coming out.
No.
In this Superman, there's a character in Superman that maybe some of you have heard. He's a popular side character in the show called Jimmy Olsen.
who is now a girl.
If Jimmy has boobies, I'm in.
There's a character in this movie apparently named Jenny Olsen, played by Rebecca Bueller. And
If the last name isn't Romain Stamos,
and we are apparently getting a female Jimmy Olsen along with a black Perry White. So there we go.
Okay, well,
Which
Black Perry White. That doesn't.
that's fine.
I didn't know Perry White wasn't black, so I guess that I'm good. I'm good with black. If they can do it, if Kingpin can become black,
Sure,
Perry
exactly,
White can become black.
exactly.
No biggie.
So the audience-
and Nick Fury, like way more major names than
Exactly.
Perry White.
Yeah.
No, it's not even Nick Fury. That's like his kid, though.
wait, Perry White is now black and Jimmy Olsen's a girl.
Hey, I'm fine with that, man.
So the
That's all
audience
good.
knows.
Well,
BFU.
think about it. Is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen? I mean, aren't you happier with Superman palling around with Jenny Olsen?
Olsen.
than
Hey, Lois
Big
may
time.
not
I
be,
mean,
but
Superman and Jenny
I
Olsen.
just
why
always
not?
thought that Superman was fucking Lois Lane. He didn't need to get some Strange on the side.
well, maybe this is like pre-Lois, before.
I was gonna say Lois may not be too
that's
into
a
it,
different argument,
but
I mean, because he was last time we saw Superman, he was watching from afar in the window.
Yeah, but that's because last time we were watching Superman, he was a fucking flop of a movie.
You know what's terrible about that? The guy they cast as Superman,
He's
Brandon
good.
Routh,
He was really
looked-
good.
That's
I mean,
why
like,
they cast him.
it was,
not a
and I've seen
secret.
him in other movies. He's not a terrible actor.
no,
He's
it's just the
dude,
movie.
the
was-
He's a terrible actor in the movie. It was just an awful movie.
He was like Brandon Ruth was like
They
he
wasted Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor.
No, I agree. I mean, Brandon Ruth was like he made that fucking movie. What's that hipster movie called again? It was comic
Scott
book.
Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. He
was
was the
great.
vegan. He was the
he was,
vegan.
he was great.
Oh,
Yeah,
rock star, dude. That guy was incredible.
I mean, maybe I'm just putting rosy glasses on because I really want Superman to do well because I'd love
Yeah.
to see a Justice League movie.
That's what it was.
Well, this is the other piece of news I was going to bring up. DC has, or Warner Brothers has pretty much officially put the Justice League movie on hold.
Good for them.
Until the box office numbers from
No.
Superman comes in.
Oh, that makes sense.
So,
I mean, that's just
yeah.
that makes it. They
So I want Superman to make a fucking $1 billion because otherwise we're not getting a Justice League movie.
Ryan, are we getting a Green Lantern too?
No. Not unless
How about a
Superman.
Green Arrow 1?
Not unless Superman does Not unless Superman does $100 billion.
You know what I was excited about?
watch
I know
Arrow.
you guys are talking about Superman and shit. I was excited about Spider-Man 2.
Bull.
It's gonna be Rhino. It's gonna be that one dude. That's like a funny guy.
Jamie
in
Foxx?
a bunch of films. Jamie
Foxx is awesome.
No, not Jamie Foxx. We were
Yeah.
watching him during the weekend. But this one indie actress, she's gonna be most likely Felicia Hardy, and her name is Felicia Jones. Dude, that just like I instantly IMDb'd that shit and went to all of her images.
Spider-Man.
And I lubed up.
And Emma Stone is
I
better
looped
looking than
up.
Kirsten Dunst, so we've come up in almost every way in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And after Spider-Man 3, honestly, with emo Spider-Man and the
Well, here's where
I was straight with Amazing Spider-Man. I was ready for
And the anorexic Venom.
I was ready. Yeah,
So true.
yeah.
Here's
the dude
where
from
I-
that '70s show. No.
Here's where I differentiate myself from you and go against pretty much everyone that's been on this podcast. I fucking hated Amazing Spider-Man. I thought it was terrible.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It was good.
I thought
did
the
not.
fighting was much more Spider-Man-like in that. The way he had the combat was
Yeah.
much more Spider-Man-like than anything they'd done before with Spider-Man. I didn't
I
like
did-
Power Ranger Green Goblin.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fault it.
Not
but
cool with Power Ranger Green Goblin.
My thing is,
Not cool with
I
it.
think when those movies came out, we just hadn't seen anything like it before. So I take them for all their
Yeah,
flaws.
we did.
But
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They
Nah.
like jacked that suit right from the TV show.
well, let's talk about one more thing here, and then
Green Ranger.
maybe one question more, and then we'll start to wrap up here.
What's
in a
up?
little
What's up?
bit.
Dude, we're wrapping up already.
No. We got
So
plenty
much
of time.
fun.
We got plenty of time still.
Shit.
We got plenty of time, but this is going to take a little while. This next thing we have to talk about.
Oh.
So this weekend, I spent a whole bunch of time catching up on two of the best animated shows that have ever been on television.
Oh,
That's Green Lantern, the
And Young
animated
Justice.
series, and Young Justice.
DC.
To wake up to the news this morning, now we already knew this. Kind of off the record.
I didn't.
Kind of off the record. A lot of people already knew this was going to happen.
I don't know, but it was on Comic Book Resources. They don't got a lot of,
But no. But it is now official that the new lineup for Cartoon Network starting this fall does not include Green Lantern or Young Justice, and then official word came out that they are
Broke Tyler's heart.
done. No more Green Lantern, no more Young Justice. We're getting Beware the Batman, which is cool, which I'm excited for, and Teen Titans Go, which is a half-an-hour version of those 2-minute shorts they have.
Who wants to see Starfire as this little innocent bitch? I want to see her getting her brains fucked out.
I don't know how they're going to make that into a half-an-hour show, but there we go. And apparently ending DC Nation entirely. Is this what you were telling me, Omar?
That's what I read. On
Okay,
CBR.
I didn't hear
So
that,
maybe
but-
I was like in a different mindset after chilling on YouPorn for a little bit. But sometimes just like you're not in your right mind. You're not quite there yet. The focus is not out. My glasses weren't on too, so I'm nearsighted and I have astigmatism in my left eye. So
Well, I'm going to assume the DC Nation block will just move on to these two new shows. Losing Young Justice.
wait, one thing that you need to include in this that's so fucking embarrassing that Cartoon Network lost Star Wars Clone Wars to fucking Disney XD. Ha ha! Fuck you, Cartoon Network. You suck big
Oh, that's right.
dick.
Because they're doing the Yoda Lego
Yeah,
thing.
that's all they're doing.
But they lost
because Warner owns Lego,
Right.
and they're able to fucking do some Star Wars fucking
Right.
cartoon shit. But then they lose fucking the biggest fucking draw on the Cartoon Network, which is still Star Wars Clone Wars.
Cartoon Network.
Ha ha.
I think we're going to see. I think Disney's going to be going around ganking licenses as soon as they expire.
Oh, yeah.
On the frequent.
Yeah. They have to.
Like, if you don't want to take our buyout, then you're just going to lose it. So you might as well just take the money we're offering you because that's how we roll.
Well, Cartoon Network. I mean, you have some good shows, but you are seriously the worst network ever. I hate you. I hate everything you do. I hate every decision you've ever made.
No, I'm calling out Warner on this one. You know what? No,
It's not Warner. It's not really.
I'm calling out
No,
Warner.
you
on
should
this.
call Warner.
I'm calling out Warner
yeah,
on this.
They should have this shit on WB. They should have this shit on their own thing.
I mean-
There's no reason for Cartoon Network to have these shows.
I don't use this term lightly, and it's been now the third show, and I haven't used this yet. I'm going to go with morally reprehensible.
Whoa.
I'm going with Warner being morally reprehensible
blown.
because I mean I know it's about toy sales, and I get that.
Yeah.
but Warner's is a media company.
Sure. Well, let's say this straight up here. Let's say this straight up here. The reason shows get canceled, cartoons, it has nothing to do with the show itself. Nothing. It is 100% the sales of toys. Green Lantern, to the best of my knowledge, had no toy sales, meaning the show was never going to get picked up a second season. The movie bombed, they scrapped the license, they said, well, they never even finished coming out with the toys they were making for the movie, so people that bought the first few couldn't even finish the little Build-A-Figure thing because they never produced the rest of them, which really blows.
Morally reprehensible.
Then they said, okay, well, we have this Green Lantern cartoon, we just got to finish it, and then we'll never, we'll just be done with it. So no toy sales for that. Done. Young Justice, they screwed. I think me and Omar have talked about this a few times. They put out these figures, no big box store support, $25, made them almost impossible to find. Threw the last remaining figures up on the Matty Collector site, and Omar, you were telling me they wanted like $50 for them or something like that.
And the like their little thermometer never even hit 35, and they said they're done with their wave, and they're not going to be making any more.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're fucking stupid. So of course, if I want to buy it, I'm gonna have to buy it on eBay for $100.
Yeah.
So am I gonna do that? So no.
It's interesting that they take it out on the TV show and not on the toy distribution, because heaven forbid the toy companies be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Morally
the toys were these big boxes, one little tiny figure in the middle, all sorts of little danger room type shit around them, and it's like, these are terrible figures. Like, why don't you just release normal size figures, put them out there, people will buy them. This show was immensely popular, but they totally screwed up, made no money, so done.
Oh, it makes me so sad. That's such a good
First
show.
of all, Danger Room is amazing, so don't talk shit about the Danger Room.
I'm not.
Second of all, you don't like your build a steampunk lantern, Ryan? That's a different argument.
Other than besides Steam Lantern, which is a piece of garbage, this last season, the second half of the season, I should say, of Green Lantern has been incredible. They brought in the Anti-Monitor. They're doing some really cool stuff with the Red Lanterns. I mean, they bring in the Manhunters. It has been
Sinestro.
It has been great.
Stop talking about it. It might as well not exist because it's not going to continue. So.
I know.
To back Bryce, some of those Young Justice figures actually came with like action poses. I have an arrowette on my wall. That's pretty cool because the actual different arrows go into the target, and then she has a little quiver on the side that was cool, and it was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of action type, and they pull it out, and it almost looks like the statue. Like it fits in with all my statues.
But it's $30.
They pulled out, and it was amazing. Is what he's saying.
But it's $30 and impossible to find. So
it was.
They made no
over
money.
$30 actually.
Yeah, like Young Justice. Yeah,
Pulling out is never as good as just
Ryan, I
keeping
just want
it
you
in.
to know that ruined my week.
yeah,
And it's going to ruin the fiance's week at home, too. She's going to be very
Yeah.
The
very
sad
upset.
part is my little brother's like a diehard Bart Allen fan, probably the only Bart Allen fan you'll ever meet in the world.
Hey,
and
man,
he's literally
No.
really.
I love Bart Allen.
Dude, Nat used to give him so much stuff saying there's no one in the world who is specifically a Bart Allen
Impulse,
fan.
dude. Impulse has a lot of fans because created by Mark Waid in a very popular run of the Flash, and the guy that did the art was your guy.
That doesn't
Bryce.
narrow down. Yeah, doesn't narrow down.
You're
Don't say Rob Liefeld.
Is it Bacalo? Chris Bacalo?
Can he draw feet yet?
Hello.
Billy Badgema.
No, the other guy.
The other guy?
Ramos.
Humberto.
Oh,
Humberto
Ramos? I fucking love him.
Yeah, co-created Impulse.
Oh man. Well, he's losing his impulse now, and he's upset.
Fucking hate Impulse. You love him.
Young Justice was good. Young Justice was good.
Yeah.
For those
The
of you
later
listening to
Young
the
Justice, when
podcast,
they came back.
you can tell what Ryan likes or not likes based on whether or not it is a teenage irreverent character.
How is Impulse irreverent?
Oh,
I do
Are
love
you
teenage
fucking
characters.
kidding?
I do love teenage
Impulse.
characters, but Impulse is like a pretty major character. I mean, he is
90% or more of
It's-
the New Warriors. Case one. Teenage irreverent characters.
hold on, is-
Damian Wayne, irreverent teenage character.
Is Tim Drake irreverent?
wait, I
I think so.
I gotta
think
ask
he's a
Bryce.
fucking cheeky motherfucker.
Bryce, are you a Connor fan? Are you a Kyle Rayner fan? Because it sounds like you just don't like that era.
Tim Drake?
No, he
Yeah,
does.
Connor.
He loves the
Yeah, I'm
area
with
if you
that.
put an
I'm
X
with
on
Ryan.
in front of it. You put the X. You put the X in front of it. It's on,
If
son.
he was extreme Kyle
Look,
Rayner.
I'm not hating.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. I'm not hating at all. I'm not hating at all. I love the New Warriors. I love Damian Wayne. Fucking, I love all this irreverent shit that Ryan likes. But it's very fun to categorize. Oh, no. So just fucking shocking that Ryan likes this irreverent teenage character based on the fact that Dupe. Okay, not teenage, but
Okay, Dupe is amazing.
Totally. No, I agree. I'm not hating at all. I'm just saying that
I think
fucking Dupe, irreverent, random character. Maybe I need to find a better fucking verb adjective. I'm not really even sure what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure in I think one of the crises they said Bart was one of the strongest Flashes.
Yeah.
So I know he's got a
that's a
lot of
perfect
love
example.
and Fastest Man Alive was fantastic.
Isn't
Haven't
Ky-
read it. Believe that it's fantastic. I'm only saying that Ryan's taste is very.
I think what Bryce is saying, when you go down the list of flashes,
Yeah.
you don't hit that flash for a little bit.
Sure.
Just like
I'm
Kyle
gonna-
Rayner's not your first Green Lantern, probably.
Some
like your-
people.
But he's one of the ones that was born with the power.
and he's
though.
the most
He was
powerful.
born
Green
with the
Lantern
power.
and the most
Grandfather Zoom, Grandfather Barry Allen.
no, that's
Impulse
not
is
my
awesome.
I'm gonna fight you on that Fastest Man Alive series. I did not like that. I thought that was not a great idea.
What?
But I love Impulse.
Enough.
I love Impulse.
Did you read the Flash after that following when like Wally figures out about his death and stuff? That was.
I didn't like any of those. Like that whole era of Flash. Once Johns left, and until Johns came back,
What about when Brainiac probed him?
That's not so hot.
What are your feelings on the Brainiac probe?
That was Flashpoint. Whole different thing.
New Brainiac. The next animated movie is.
We
is
just like to
Brainiac.
make fun of
Can't
Kid
wait for
Flash
that.
because he got probed by Brainiac.
In Flashpoint, he's a diehard Bart fan, and in Flashpoint, at one point, the girl in Flashpoint tells Bart, "Well, I was probed. Several times, and Bart was in the same tube that she was in." So we like to talk about Bart getting probed.
All right, well,
let's
the
see-
list of characters Ryan loves.
I do. I love them.
I still put them above the X-Men.
It's actually a good question for everyone here. I'm sure we got some answers for that. This is from Jim. Jim on Twitter, Jim Barr. He says, "We listen to your podcasts." Thank you, Jim, for listening
What up,
to our
Jim?
podcast. He then asks, this guy actually kind of like that music question we had the other week. What podcast do you guys listen to? Does anyone here listen to podcasts?
Yeah, I do listen to
Besides
this podcast.
Besides this podcast?
Oh,
Do you really listen to this podcast? Do you listen to the episodes you're on?
Nope, only the ones I'm not on
Nice.
because I don't want. I have FOMO. Anyone?
FOMO?
No. Really?
Fear of missing out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. That's like my fucking dog, Taro.
Yeah.
He's like always like, "Oh, I want to be with you. Where are you going? Come on."
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I heard Scott was on last week. I got to listen to what Scott said. By the way, Scott gave me a shout out. Love it.
Yeah,
All right. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, everybody.
anyone
I
else?
love you, Scott. You're the man. Thanks for
Bryce,
those fucking PD dice. They were incredible.
I know Bryce
Scott.
listens to the podcast. I know Omar listens to the podcast.
By the way, it's the only podcast I listen to. I don't mean to take away. Anyway, yeah, Scott, love you. All right, go ahead.
Omar, I know you listen to some other podcasts.
I listen to everything ESPN because I'm a fucking big time sports fanatic,
Really?
and I get a lot of ideas from them. You know, what can I say? You know, I'm a ninja at heart. Right?
Did you guys? Chris? Any
I got a
podcast?
friend who's just started a Nerf podcast that I'm probably going to start listening to. They're like diehard Nerf, but other than that,
Josh and Sean.
I got a friend who does who's on a radio station, normal radio station. So I can't catch him in the morning
Normal
at 6.
radio.
No, I mean another radio station is a 94.9 thing. So I listen to just his things because he's a friend. Like his early mornings, like 6 to like 10, and I can't be awake at that time. So
Just so you guys know, this motherfucker to my left, like, put me on blast on Facebook because he didn't. He wasn't on our Green Arrow podcast. That's what people are calling it now, and to the point where he actually had this big deal. This chick that she's fucking amazing, Natasha Yee, import car model girl. You guys know who she is. You know
the best part is I'm going to call her when I leave. She'll listen to this.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, she's listening to this right now.
Nice.
Omar was going to say something else. And
Not
that
saying anything.
just
What's up, Natasha? What's up,
I
Natasha?
had to stop him before there.
I listen to. I'll pick up random podcasts depending on like the subject matter. So I've listened to Dungeons and Dragons podcast about the some new game. A couple friends of mine used to do podcasts. Listen to those. Of course, listen to this podcast. ESPN, like Omar. I'll listen to their stuff. I know.
How do you so much time in your day?
I drive a lot for work.
Fucking, that makes one of them.
Like I tried to drive to San Ramon today. That's an hour and a half,
Yeah, that's
two ways.
drive,
Where do you live?
son.
Of course, I know you live in Santa Roma. I know where you live. I know where you live.
These guys were playing HeroClix back when they both had hair. I'm kidding. Bryce still has hair.
Bryce does have a glorious hair. BFU does not.
I listen
I was looking for the
to.
insult. I was like,
I listen to a few of ours. I listen to the Comedy Button, which is really funny that
Yeah.
they do here. I'm not smart enough for Good Job Brain, so I can't listen to that anymore. I tried for a while.
twice, and I fucking was
I
like,
loved
couldn't
it,
answer
but
shit.
I loved it, but I'm like, I feel so stupid when I listen.
It was
to
like
this,
worse
so.
than Jeopardy for me. Watching
Yeah.
Jeopardy.
I definitely listen to the All Talk podcast, which is the community podcast, which I think I'm actually going to be on next week.
Hey.
Little shout out to those guys. I listen to Anime World Order. It's a really funny anime podcast that doesn't update very much anymore, but they talk mostly about older anime, which I like because I like anime, but I'm not into it enough to like keep up with all the current stuff. So I like that they talk about old stuff. I listen to The Instance, which is a World of Warcraft podcast, and I think that's it. I mean, occasionally I listen to some other stuff, but I mean,
I have to say, I listened to your guys' podcast the first time, helping BFU over here build a shed, and man, I got hooked.
Nice.
I just jumped on the X-Force novel thing just from the info I got from you guys.
You're welcome.
So ever since that, I started subscribing, and the first time I listened to you guys, as soon as he turns it on, you guys were talking about the Arrow show, and both Ryan and Omar were giving me Arrow love, and that's when I was like, I'm hooked.
Nice.
I'm hooked. This
Nice.
is
Hey,
an
look
awesome
it, you're
show.
here, son.
And there's so much DC love here, I can't not love it.
yeah. Well, we got Well, we're gonna do a real quick random pick of the week. I gotta actually pull up the thing here, but someone was asking about these random picks. But before that, I got an email here that I wanted to read, and then we'll do our random picks and then wrap up. This is from Jarek, who actually wrote us last week, 2 weeks ago or so. And he says, I was talking about HeroClix, and we got 4 big HeroClix players here, so let's read this. It says, Ryan and crew, thanks for answering my last message. I thought I'd follow up since you asked. Your advice was spot on. Before you had a chance to respond to my original message, I threw down $2 for HeroClix Online.
Yeah.
Well, no. I sat in the lobby for a long time and no games ever showed. After watching a video or two of the game, I decided the online version was just not the route to go.
Good job.
To keep this message shorter, many videos of actual gameplay tutorial were watched. I went to my local game shop and found out they play every Sunday. Planning to stop by, I grabbed the Batman Fast Forces and a few single blind boxes. Poring over them, I was trying to scheme up some tactics. Today was a blast. I guess you read this this was yesterday. There were 2 other regular players plus a judge. We played a big 4-person map. It was a long game with my Nightwing surviving until we all had 1 figure left. The players were overly generous, just as you had mentioned, donating nearly 30 clicks to me. They even had prize support for non-tournament day, and I received what appeared to be a pretty cool map.
That's how we do.
Overall, it was about as positive as an experience one could have, and I can't wait to go back. If you could please give Friendly City Games in Lebanon, Indiana, a shout-out. So, Friendly City Games, you are awesome.
Dude, high fives would just went around the table.
Great players and fantastic staff.
That's exactly what we talk about.
And if I'm ever in California, I'll stop by for some clicks as well. So that is cool, Jarek. And that's pretty much what we all figured would happen. It seems to be a pretty common thing, especially I've done gaming for a long time, and I'm not so much these days, but I've done a lot of stuff, and most of these people are pretty cool. I mean, you'll get some dicks, but most people are willing to just hook people up, especially if you're a new player, because you got to keep it going, right? I mean, you can't throw these people to the wolves and be like, no, figure it out yourself, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't do anyone any good. You want some competition. You want people to jump in. You want new people to play with. You're playing against the same 3 people every week, regardless. Magic, Pokemon, D&D, HeroClix, regardless of what it is. It gets boring. You want some blood in there just for something fun. So
right. It was just like Omar and Scott and Chris were saying last week, though, that the community with reception to new players is in HeroClix is fucking legit. Like, everybody loves the new player, and anytime I ever came across a new player, it was like, my man. Love it. Come join the Brotherhood without fucking being an ass. So.
Yeah, I don't have a white pillowcase over my head. Nice cut out. Don't worry.
This could help actually a little bit, since he was saying he was reading on watching videos online on gameplay. If you YouTube starter gameplay Blackest Night, it's actually a really good instructional video on YouTube on how to actually get the basics of the game down. They based it off the Blackest Night starter set. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, I watched it a couple times, and I've had new people that come into our shop actually watch the same video because it's really instructional. The guy's really patient, and it's cool because the Blackest Night figures are all Lantern Corps, so they're all part of the Care Bear crew. So they're all very, lit up, and the sculpts look amazing. That Wonder Woman's
awesome.
Bryce is going to need that when he gets back in the game.
Yeah.
No, Bryce is actually pretty good. He called me out. I remember the first time I actually played him, like, in a setting where we were all, like, competitive, but at the same time
Was this at your house drinking beer?
No. This was here, and I bust out Adam
But
Warlock.
we were drinking beer.
I bust out Adam Warlock, and you're like, what the fuck does that guy do? And he was like, everything's white power. He's like, you can't do hypersonic with penetrating second blast and all the bullshit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
because you tried to use all these fucking incompatible powers.
You're all, what are you trying to do here? I ain't no fucking fool. I ain't no fool.
Yeah. Except that I didn't sound like, I don't know, some blaxploitation character.
Yeah.
Captain
I'm sorry,
America.
I watched a lot of Black Dynamite. My bad.
Captain America should not be able to throw his shield over mountains.
Best nigga
That
show
is
ever.
another podcast for another day.
Anyway.
Yeah, but seriously, we have a glory box here, kind of like the same thing as a glory hole. A lot of people in San Francisco like those. But you get free shit.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
Dude, we have a great community in the Bay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's incredible.
The games come by. I mean, we held a game Saturday, just a fun big scenario. The BFU held with a bunch of Sentinels, really X-Men related. Master Mold was in it, and then we, even Omar just randomly drops in and said, "Perfect timing, guys. Let me just hang out." And we had 12 guys there, and it was just a fun night. So it's definitely it brings you together.
You come out, bro.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we run the Sentinel Master Mold scenario. We've run a few times.
It was Sentinels in Batcave though, so it didn't make complete sense.
You had to go down the pole to get in the map. Hulk did it.
Oh,
Needless to say, Master Mold won.
Omar got excited when we brought up polls.
I like polls and strippers.
So Brock's going to be upset because he always loves these random picks, and we haven't done random picks in a while. But I got someone on Twitter here, Ang, who says, "Hey, whatever happened, bring back the random picks." So we're bringing them back. There's one episode, maybe we'll do them again too. But people wanted to hear some random picks, so let's pick some random stuff.
Okay, Swamp Thing.
Discovery?
Right now, yeah, the current existing Swamp Thing right now, they're doing like Red World, Rot World, or some other bullshit like that. What's so good about it is there's this fantastic, it's all about the moment. It's all about the, what the fuck? Swamp Thing comes back to Gotham City, and he actually goes in the Batcave, and he's like, oh shit, Batman. He's like looking for his last white hope. Please, Bruce Wayne, please be alive. And then he looks inside the cave and he looks at like the bat screens, and the screens are all on and shit. But then he sees this fucking monstrosity of something. Looks like a big old brown turd. And it's a man bat. And it's fucking Barbara Gordon. She fucking injected herself with like the man bat syndrome, and she's fucking the last existing of the bat family, and it's badass. Like that moment is so incredible. Like he comes and attacks her. He's like, "Oh, Swamp Thing, you're alive. You're our only hope." Like Obi-Wan Kenobi or some shit. Yeah, it's cool. All right. You'll love it.
Do I get one? Are we going this way?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have to say, if you don't have it, go out and get Red Hood and the Outlaws. I know it's kind of been up and down, very random, but this Death of the Family draw-in in this one issue, I think it was 16 was last week? Was it 16 or 17?
16. Yeah.
16. But you know what? In one issue, they brought the Titans in, and they're trying to, and Joker is just diabolical, and they literally completely interrupted the story to throw in one panel where an artist is doing a book signing, and then at the end, and he goes, "Thank you," and then you don't even know who it is, and he's just going, "Yeah, it's great," and he goes, I'm looking to touch the world," and then at the end, you see the signature, Hugo Strange, and you're like, what did that mean? And then all of a sudden, 2 panels later, boom, you see Deathstroke sitting at his chair, and he goes, "I accept this bounty. In fact, I'll do it for free." Boom, 3 knives in the Red Hood and the Outlaws lineup. That's Deathstroke's new target. 3 different titles have tied into one book, and I have to say it is amazing. And to watch, Bart Allen, Tyler's favorite guy, and Roy Harper, one of my favorite, team up together was awesome. I love speedsters and archers together.
Hell yeah!
So it is fantastic.
No, bro, this is a fucking great salesman, right?
No, he's like all passion.
I want to go
all the time.
It is worth it.
I bought all of these issues, but I want to go back and read them. I'm waiting to buy them, but I want to go read them now.
So I'm gonna keep the DC train rolling.
Oh,
sorry, Bryce. So I'm gonna go off the beaten path and go with no A, B, or C listers. Say Demon Knights.
Yeah,
Demon Knights.
I've been on since issue 1. One of the.
You were saying before the podcast that you actually liked this current arc better than the.
Yeah. So the first arc was fantastic. Yeah. Swords and sorcery. Vandal Savage, kicking ass, taking names. They got their own Amazon. They got some lady that's crippled, but she can meld with horses. A lot of Camelot references with Shining Knight and those guys. But the new arc has got the villain's main name is Cain, as in Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And basically, he's like the first vampire.
Yeah,
and
that's Cain from. Oh, he was also in. If it's the same one, because I'm a couple issues behind. But he was also in iVampire recently too. Same one, right? Yeah.
And his goal is apparently they're planning an attack on Themyscira to try to turn all the Amazons into vampires.
Cool.
Let's be honest. If I was a Dracula, if I was a vampire, I would want to get my fucking sharp teeth all over those fucking Amazonian boobies.
And he's already got one too. So they were all shocked that they could be turned. But the cool thing is, he already
what
has
time
one.
period is this in?
So it's
Just
30
curious.
years ahead of where the first arc took place.
Yeah.
So like the
Middle Ages.
This is going to sound messed up, but the Middle Eastern dude that they were rolling with,
Yeah.
all the gadgets.
Arjong probably knows him.
I think it's Al Jafir.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, it sounds like Arjong.
He has his own city now. He has his own city of mechanical wonders where they have like hot air balloons and stuff like that.
Oh, and Steampunk Ryan?
But he's old.
Yeah.
And he kind of he's getting the band back together.
Cool.
And Vandal Savage is in it. Vandal Savage is a total DB. It's awesome.
On the Amazon note, can I actually ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I get anyone's views on the I don't know if anyone read Earth 2. Has anyone read the last Earth 2? How do they feel about that, Wonder Woman's daughter thing? That really was a shocker for me. And I love Hawkgirl. I mean, I love Earth 2, Hawkgirl. My girlfriend loves Hawkgirl.
No spoiler alert, because that's the only issue I haven't read.
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, the Amazon's on the cover and it says Amazon.
Good job, new guy.
Amazon. If you're a comic fan, they've been talking about the missing Amazon for a while.
It's Fury, right? I haven't read the most recent. I haven't read the most recent issue, but Fury is an old character.
This came out a month ago.
Like Wonder Woman's kid from. This is like pre-crisis stuff. So
So should I not spoil stuff?
No, it's
spoil away.
fine. It's fine.
Because you know what? I just want to know why. How is Steppenwolf? I killed your mom, but now you're my apprentice. That it just really was a shocker for me. Really was a shocker.
I mean,
and Earth 2's been so fantastic leading up to this. I really loved it.
Yeah, Fury's an old character.
Just reading playing HeroClix. How do you know more about DC? Okay, okay, go ahead.
What's your Marvel pick?
Because I gave up all these X-Men.
All right, since I'm the lone wolf in this wolf pack, can we talk about this last week? Wolverine and the X-Men. I don't know if you read it.
Much better than the Frankenstein arc. I hated that.
All right, can we talk about how the Frankenstein arc was awful?
Was awful.
I liked what it did for the.
I actually didn't even read the third issue. I just put it down. And, no,
you know, your haterade. You set it down. Thank you very much. So it was awful. It was awful.
It was. Yeah.
No disagreement. I like what it did for the Hellfire Club in terms of character development, but beyond that, it was completely. But Date Night, this last issue,
this new one's really good.
Very good.
Yeah. The Kitty Pryde and Iceman stuff was fantastic.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Dupe in a bow tie? Can we talk about Wolverine making out with Storm?
I was gonna say.
Can we talk about the one page with?
Wait, who made out with Storm? Wait, who made out with Storm?
I'm sorry, Omar. You can't turn off your mic and then turn it back on mid comment.
Wait, did they retcon? Was this before Black Panther? Black Panther don't know what's up.
No, Black
Word?
Panther.
Is she pregnant now?
I'm sorry.
Word?
Well, hold on. Black Panther's like, look, I know we're not married anymore. Just, I don't care who you're with. Just don't go with him.
When did they get divorced?
Like during
AVX, bro.
Yeah.
Are you?
I read AVX. Was it one of the side AVXs?
Yeah, it was a side bullshit.
Oh, it was a side book?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Marvel's crossovers,
No,
I can't afford them.
it was the AVX.
The Versus one, right?
The Versus.
Yeah,
book.
Versus.
So, but it wasn't 1 through 12 of AVX.
No, it was not.
If you only read 12 books of that 40-book crossover, then yes, you missed it.
Well, that was 12 more X books than I wanted to read, but since A was in it, I had to get down
All right,
like that.
so you're complaining about not having been caught up, but it was one of the direct contingencies of the AVX book?
Shenanigans.
Be if
So
you
Marvel's
Ryan-
only black couple, and
Be if you love some Cyclops.
they got to break them up. Word.
Yeah, but
That's what we're doing now?
This is fucking months ago.
And then she ends up with Wolverine.
No, she doesn't.
She dropped the king.
Fucking finish what I'm saying.
Not only does she end up. Well, did you read that before
said
you
hit
read
it.
X-Force? Oh yeah, they did. They're in the shower. Did you read it before you read X-Force? Because there's continuity
I've not.
there.
But can I fucking finish what
Well,
I'm fucking saying?
hold on.
Unbelievable.
Hold on.
Tell everyone
beer's
that
good,
BFU
though,
is
isn't
not
it?
black.
Hold on.
Fucking delicious.
There's continuity here.
Let's go.
Because in Wolverine and the X-Men, she's like, just do it. And he cuts off her hair into the mohawk. And then in Uncanny X-Force, she's got the mohawk. So there's her continuity.
What issue was that? That sounds sick.
Wolverine and the X-Men
Dude,
from
it's
this
fucking
week.
Great.
Dude, I followed that
Jason
series.
Aaron has been doing a fucking great job.
I followed
and
that in
the
the
Frankenstein arc was awful.
It was.
But it did some great job for the Hellfire Club
I like the kids.
development.
I like
the what's happening with Brew, what's happening with Edie.
Oh, well, the end of this issue in Brew.
No,
Right.
Don't get me started.
Oh, dude, don't get me fucking
Bryce,
started.
I can tell you, I loved that starting because I'm a huge Iceman fan. I actually have an Iceman tattoo on my wrist.
Holy
Iceman
fuck!
is fucking sick, and they finally showed his potential in the beginning of that Wolverine and the X-Men about a year ago. That was fantastic, especially when they brought all the artists, like all the old artwork done of, when he made that army of Icemen. It was incredible,
Dude, the fucking
and here's Xavier,
the killing fucking
the Kirk-
what was it called? The Uncanny X-Force.
Oh, when Nightcrawler with
Yes.
him and Nightcrawler, fucking awesome. High
This
five.
whole
That was
conversation
awesome.
right here just sounds
But-
like fucking yesterday's fucking Masterpiece Theater,
swear to God,
Downtown
I have
Abbey.
to say, though-
Downtown Abbey.
Bryce. Wolverine and the X-Men. You like it?
That's my pick of the week.
Okay.
That was a fucking great issue.
Doesn't have to be your pick of the week. Just random pick. Anything you like? You like that? Okay.
Oh, I thought it was
Good.
Oh.
No.
Either way,
Whatever.
I don't give a fuck. That was a great issue this week.
Yeah.
It was
I
very
like it.
easy, self-contained. Pick it up.
It's a
You
good
get to
issue.
see random hookups that used to happen in X-Men all the time. Haven't happened in a long time. This is a great issue.
It was the hookup
for,
issue.
Yeah, for random hookups that Claremont used to fucking love
Yeah.
to just like toss in there. We haven't had in a long time. Favorite line of that is possibly Iceman saying something like, "Hey, I was a member of the Champions.
Yeah.
I know when shit is going wrong."
Yeah.
That was fucking
That was great.
legit.
Iceman love.
So,
Dude,
so
fucking great issue.
it was a good
Cool,
issue.
man.
Yeah. So
I
I got
might
to
check
pick
it out.
Ironically, it was actually from this week too. I wasn't planning on picking something recent, but
was-
it's a reissue of an old series. DC has slowly been putting out nice oversized hardcovers of all of Neil Gaiman's work for Vertigo, and they just came out with a brand new collection of books of magic which if you've been reading Justice League Dark, Books of Magic and Timothy Hunter has been appearing in that.
All right.
This is a 4-issue miniseries from Vertigo back in the late 80s where he introduces...
so it's like a copy of Harry Potter then, right?
The opposite, but you're close.
Oh,
yeah, this predates Harry Potter by like 15 years.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Books of Magic, Neil Gaiman, can't recommend more enough. That is a fantastic series. It's the ongoing series is good. You know, there's good stuff to it, but Neil Gaiman loves, it's Neil Gaiman magic. New printing, new hardcover.
I just want to go right now. After you tell me all these things, I just want to listen to The Cure.
You should.
Yeah.
You should listen to The Cure. And John Constantine's in it.
Yeah.
Omar just wants to wear all black.
The Trenchcoat Brigade. It's Phantom Stranger.
Constantine has his own thing going right now, right?
He's got a new book coming out soon.
Yeah, and I know because I know Phantom Stranger's been relating to him a lot lately.
Yeah,
Phantom Stranger's been really good.
Yeah, it's been a good book too. So
the art's tough, but
he busts out a coin.
That's all our picks this week, and that's all. That's our episode. What?
Can I say, just since there was an overabundance of Marvel not love, that I want to give a half, not full, shout out to Gambit. Gambit
is it a decent issue this week?
Very, I would say it's only 6 or 7 issues in. Very solid. I know that a lot of us don't like it. But, can we talk about how the fact that we all thought it would flop on issue 1 or 2, and it's actually been pretty fucking decent.
Toby will back you up. He really likes that book too.
Well, Toby would back me up if it were fucking written by Loeb currently and drawn by Ed McGuinness.
What?
No, awful.
No, Toby really likes Gambit.
No, I know, but I'm saying that he would love Gambit if it were...
if it was awful?
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Maybe. I don't know.
My point is that it's actually been good.
Yeah, it has been good.
And if not good, then at least solid, and that it's worth a shout out in the sea of fucking DC love that I have to give a second shout out to.
Do you hear me talking to you about how much I like Gambit and Wolverine and the X-Men?
Did I not give you Iceman love?
No, you just said it was okay.
No, but what I want to do...
I gave you Iceman love.
I want to stroke you.
Iceman, but,
I want to stroke you right now, Bryce. I want to stroke you.
Two of us, Omar.
So I'm just going to give a shout out to my homie, Chris Samney, on Instagram and on Twitter. This guy on Daredevil, who would have thought after Lopez and the Gearys and all those motherfuckers that just were killing it with Wade, this no-name Chris Samney would jump on and the book would be fucking 5 times better. Wow. Shit's incredible. I love what you did with Coyote. I love what you did with fucking Spot. These fucking random-ass characters. Amazing.
Spot's cool.
Illustrator.
Spot is
cool. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. We've gone too long. That's fine.
Damn.
We've talked comic books. We'll talk more comic books next week.
Is there too long, Ryan?
And then forever, we'll have more comic book talk. Forever and ever and ever. I'm sure we missed a bunch of stuff. Oh, Young Avengers. Actually, I had a few people ask about Young Avengers.
Dude.
None of us got a chance to read it yet. So we're going to talk about it next week.
Young Loki.
Yeah.
Children's Crusade, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. We'll have a big talk on Young Avengers probably
Gay
next
Avengers.
Week. If you like this episode and you want to listen to all our other episodes or this episode again, you can find us on iTunes.
Wicked and Hulkling.
Also, review us on iTunes. However, you can go and find us on www.geekbox.net, and you can go on forums@geekbox.net, and you can listen to us talk about all our random stuff that we now have our massive epic thread of just the comic conspiracy. So just post on there, and it's good times. What else do we got? We have all sorts of random things going on. Brock's got his blog, conspiratorrock.com. Omar's got his site, Comics Into Kind. Charlie's got the Infinite Longbox podcast. He'll be back next week. These two, Chris and Chris down the end, they got a store. Pimp it.
Come over to Heroes and Dice in Fremont at 4588 Peralta Boulevard, Suite 8, or hit us on the web at heroesanddice.com.
There you go. Go say hi to those guys.
You can get happy endings next door.
Jesus.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That's why Omar comes over on Saturdays. Has anyone heard Omar's laugh, man? It's like a fucking hyena.
A bunch of us are on Twitter. I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock's Brock Sager. Omar's Comics Into Kind. Toby's Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. The Twitters, you guys on there?
At Crone, baby. Krone.
I'm with Scott, man. I'm not that
not
technologically advanced.
You're not
I don't have Twitter.
Okay.
Nope.
That's different, though. Scott,
you know, Omar,
I'm pretty close with Scott on that. Me and Scott get along. Aquaman and Green Arrow, baby.
Hey, Bryce. You know your mic's not on.
Yep, sorry.
So Bryce is at.
Hold on, wait. Let's go back to History Channel and high school graduates.
So
I think I'm just going to kill everyone's mic now because
Larsen was with an E-N. Bryce is with a Y, not an I.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. Okay. Scott, I love Scott, but he hates Twitter. I'm not a Twitter lover, but I wish Scott would get on Twitter. He's a lot of great things to say.
Yeah, Scott, if you're listening, go on Twitter. We'll add you.
All right, I'll go on Twitter.
Digital Comics, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. You can go on there and get some stuff. If you ordered a copy of the Hyrule Historia hardcover book that's coming out from Dark Horse Comics from us to get your cool exclusive print to my girlfriend and all that stuff, all signed by the cast of the Geekbox, those are shipping tomorrow, so be on the lookout for them. If you don't know what we're talking about, hit me up and I'll tell you. Or if you just want to order it, just search for Hyrule Historia Geekbox on Google, and it should be your first link. You can go buy this awesome new Zelda book for us for a cool $40. Comes with a nice little print signed by everyone from the podcast, and it's good stuff. So not you guys' podcast, the real podcast, the Geekbox, the one actual people listen to. So So Omar, Bryce, your mic's not still on, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here before like 9 more beers get drunk here, and we really can't understand anyone. So, all right, we'll talk to everyone next week.